let's turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Now, verse 17 says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding an eternal weight of glory. Amen? You may be seated. So for a brief couple of minutes, I want to talk to you about being repurposed. As you can see here, I have a coffee mug, right? This little coffee mug serves one purpose for most people, just get you a hot cup of coffee. It's basic, it's simple, it has a purpose, it holds liquid. It can't do a bunch, but we appreciate it, and we probably have more than one sitting on our shelf. Unfortunately, life events like kids playing baseball in the house, mom, right? Okay. Or the dog just knocking it off the counter can change everything. Now, it's not the coffee mug's fault when it crumbles to the ground and shatters into a lot of pieces. But then it's up to us because that's our mug. We have two trains of thought typically when this happens. The first one, we're going to throw it in the trash because this vessel no longer serves its purpose. Our second thing is, if you're anything like we were as kids, if we busted it, we tried to super glue it back together before mom found out. So if you're lucky enough to find all the pieces and have enough super glue, you can put it back together and maybe it'll still work, but chances are it's going to show all the cracks and scars that has come its way. It doesn't cross our mind that there may be 3, 4, 5, 6 more options. We usually go with the 2, throw it in the trash or try to fix it a little bit. So we look at it, can it have purpose again? Or is it just worthless, nothing more? See, oftentimes we're like this coffee mug. We are a vessel, and as babies and as infants in Christ or in our life, as we grow up, we look at innocent children and we see all the potential that they have. They're going to be doctors and lawyers and preachers and gospel artists, and they're just going to be wonderful people. But we don't expect our children and our babies to grow up and become broken. We don't expect them to grow up and to be a liar or a deceiver. We don't expect them to grow up and become wicked and addicted to drugs or alcohol. We don't expect our children to have a life where they grow up full of depression and anxiety. But sometimes life comes in at every corner, and before you realize it, it has knocked them down. And the addict just sits there and begs God, can you please just put me back together and make me whole? I don't care if the scars are showing or the cracks are there. I just want to be whole. And even in that, our finite thoughts, because God's ways are higher than ours and his thoughts are higher than ours, because he doesn't want to make us just a vessel. He doesn't want to put us just back to where we used to be. He's got a bigger purpose. He's got a different idea, a bigger one than what we can think of. Brother Eli, do you have that picture for me? You see this coffee mug here. Not only was it a broken vessel, but it was not put back to serving its original purpose. This was repurposed for something much greater than it ever originally would be. It no longer holds hot liquid. This has been repurposed to hold life. Something that is living, something that is growing, something that is making a difference and reproducing for other life to live and to grow. So you today, if you are broken, if you are shattered and you want God to put the pieces back together, he said no. Don't be mad at him because he's not making you exactly who you used to be. He's got a bigger plan Philippians 1:6, and I'm going to end with this, says, being confident of this very thing, that he which begun a good work in you, he's going to perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. And so it may not make sense to you now what God is doing, but I'm telling you to trust the process, because God knows what he's doing and he's always faithful. Amen.